do our everybody.
Okay. All right. Again, good evening, everyone. This is Rosalinda Gutierrez from Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation. And tonight's webinar, we will be talking about the Homeowner Assistance Fund and an update about the New York State Moratorium. I will be talking about what the Homeowner Assistance Fund is and how can people apply for it. What are the benefits? And Alex Nippenberg from Brooklyn Legal Services Corpay will talk about the New York State Moratorium. Okay, so as mentioned, if you this will be recorded, we will be posting it on social media. We ask that everyone mute yourself so we can facilitate all the information, and all of the questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. So you could put your questions in the chat. We will get to them in a minute. For those of you who do not know us, Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation is a not-for-profit community-based organization. It was founded in 1983. We provide various services from youth to older residents. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, and some of the programs that we offer, youth and family services, childcare through our Cypress Hills Child Care Corporation, career and education, college success, housing counseling, community development, community organizing, and our business partners. For more information and details about our services, this is our website. You could check it out and see what we have. Okay, so for those who do not know, what is the Homeowner Assistance Fund? Most of you might have heard about this program and know a little bit about it. So it's a state-funded program that was created under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. The purpose is to mitigate any financial hardships that were associated with the pandemic. Homeowners can apply for this program to help with mortgage arrears, utility bills, and property taxes. Also, homeowner association dues. So some condo and co-op fees can be included in this program to apply. The state of New York was awarded just under $540 million, but unfortunately, we are still waiting for the U.S. Treasury to approve the New York State's application process. This is why the program has not yet opened. The Homeowner Assistance Funds, again, can be used to help homeowners who are at risk of foreclosure or displacement. They are eligible, these funds will be eligible for, but not limited to, mortgage arrears, pay back any forbearance payments, property tax arrears, the HOA, maintenance, condo, or co-op arrears. There could be other, I think, as mentioned before, utilities also can be included in this program. So some of the eligibility guidelines that we know so far are for those homeowners whose forbearance programs have expired or are soon to end. Homeowners with mortgages who were not offered a forbearance program, and because of that, they became delinquent on their mortgage payments because they were going through a financial hardship. Homeowners without a mortgage, which are those that could, that paid off their mortgage, but are delinquent on their property taxes, water, insurance. This also includes people with reverse mortgages. Homeowners who live in co-ops or condos and they're delinquent with their HOA or maintenance fees. And homeowners who live in manufactured home communities who are delinquent on their loans or retail installment contracts. So basically almost everything under the umbrella of causing you to be in the foreclosure proceedings would actually might actually qualify you into this program to avoid that. Eligible applicants may apply for the amount needed to achieve an affordable modification or to satisfy mortgage arrears if a reduction in income results in an unaffordable monthly housing payment. The maximum that a homeowner can apply for is $50,000 through this program. The eligible assistance includes the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA fees, and other housing costs. The applicant must be at risk of foreclosure and have no other reasonable or affordable repayment option, and demonstrate that you are able to continue making your future mortgage payments. This also includes for seniors with reverse mortgages. So the application process, as far as we know, they're asking that as a homeowner, you first work with your mortgage servicer, see what options they have for you. If there's no options, or the options that they offer you are unaffordable, this is where we would apply for the Homeowner Assistance Fund. We have to demonstrate to this program that you have already, tried working with your mortgage servicer, but the outcomes was not what you expected, and this is why now you're reaching out to them for some additional assistance. Once this application is open, it would be online. They would have a portal. We still do not know much about this portal. I have a link here that I could share with you guys where you could get more details and information. And hopefully if this link, they would share with us when the actual portal is open. The homeowner can apply on their own, but this could be, it could be a little bit challenging since we as counselors do not know what the process might look like. So we are here to assist. And again, as mentioned, we have to first work with your mortgage servicer. So as a foreclosure prevention counselor, I can advocate for you, the homeowner, and apply for some retention options with your mortgage servicer and see what outcome we can get. And if not, like again, I mentioned, if nothing works out, then I can, continue assisting you to apply for this homeowner assistance fund. So in our housing counseling team, my name is Rosalinda Gutierrez. I'm the foreclosure prevention counselor. We also have other counselors there that can assist you in various housing needs. So we have our senior tenant counselor, Juana Iris Revis. We have another homeowner help desk counselor. Her name is Shahida Begum. Holly Josephs would no longer be with us, but our help desk counselor helps out, apply for property tax exemptions. If you need assistance with any violation on your property, we can help you try to resolve that. If you have any landlord-tenant issues, home repairs, there's some home repair programs that we can assist you to apply. These repair programs they do have their guidelines, so we can help you and guide you through those. And then we also help senior tenants with other housing needs. Renee Arlane, he's our housing counselor director, and we are located at 3214 Fulton Street. Due to the pandemic, we do ask that you call us for an appointment so we can better assist you. There's no walk-ins at this moment. Once you call us, we'll let you know what documents you would be needing and setting up that appointment. Again, please reach out to us so we can help you with the first step, which is actually communicating with your mortgage lender even before we start looking into the homeowner assistance fund. I have personally seen with my current clients that mortgage servicers are being a little bit, are giving some better offers for our homeowners, not the best, but something to save their home from going into any foreclosure proceeding. So it's always best to communicate with the mortgage servicer just to see what options they have for you. So now I'm going to pass it on to Alex Nippenberg. He will be talking about the New York State moratorium update.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Rosalinda, so much for having me here today. So I'll be talking about a couple things. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the forbearance, and once the forbearances are ending, what are your options on the end of your mortgage, and then I'll be talking about the current state of foreclosure proceedings in New York and foreclosure moratoriums. So as Rosalinda said, my name is Alex Knippenberg. I'm a staff attorney at Brooklyn Legal Services Corporation A. And as I said, I'm going to talk about the current state of foreclosure moratoriums in New York. At Brooklyn Legal Services Corporation A, we have several units. I'm a staff attorney at the Consumer and Economic Advocacy Program. I defend homeowners in foreclosure proceedings, both in settlement conferences and if the case goes into litigation. We also do some bankruptcy work, where the point of our bankruptcy program is also to prevent foreclosure on the home. And we also have a lower income taxpayer clinic. So if you have a tax issue, we can help resolve a tax issue with IRS or New York Department of Finance. But we don't file your taxes. We would basically help you resolve whatever the tax issue you have. That's not mine. All right, so first, I want to talk a little bit about the history of what happened when the pandemic started and all the courts closed. So when the pandemic started, there was a federal moratorium, and a CARES Act was passed, where any lenders could not initiate any new foreclosure cases, and all the current foreclosure cases were put on hold. There were also a number of forbearances initiated by mostly federally backed mortgages, but also privately backed forbearance were initiated as well. So people who are behind on the mortgage payments could request a forbearance where there would be no late fees or anything like that. However, obviously those payments are not forgiven. Because of the CARES Act, it was mandatory for federally backed mortgages, but all the private banks and lenders also followed suit. So at this time, a lot of forbearances are all obviously expiring and ending, and a lot of homeowners are wondering what's next, because those amounts are not forgiven, and they're wondering what to do now, and so on. So as the majority of forbearance are expiring, there are several options that you have on how to proceed, and a lot of this depends on what kind of mortgage you have. Servicers generally cannot make you pay the entire amount due that was in forbearance. So if you were in forbearance for 6 months, they should not be able to make you pay the entire 6 months in one payment. They have to offer you options beyond that. For federally backed mortgages, there are a variety of solutions, such as extending the loan term. So if you do not pay for 6 months, they could potentially extend your loan term by 6 months. They could also give you a balloon payment. So if you miss 6 months of payments, they can put this amount on the end of the loan, and the amount would not be due until the loan matures. And you can also apply for loan modification and see if that's a solution for you. If you are at the end of forbearance and not sure what to do, we always advise to reach out to housing counselors such as Cypress Hills, or reach out to different legal service providers like us or any other free legal service providers in either Brooklyn or Queens, who can all help you and assist you. If you don't have a federally backed mortgage, then the CARES Act does not apply to you. However, do not panic, because New York State did pass a law as well that helps you out, basically to close the gap. If you don't have an FHA, Fannie or Freddie mortgage, if you have a privately backed mortgage, then there's a New York law that can help you out. It is known as Banking Law Section 9X, and it governs what mortgage servicers must do at the end of forbearance. So it's not an option. A lot of times, if you call your mortgage servicer, the person on the other end of the line, they might not know about this, because oftentimes they're not located in New York. They might be somewhere else, but that's one of the reasons you do get a housing counselor or an attorney to help you, who knows the law and who can advocate on your behalf to a mortgage servicer. So this law applies to all mortgage servicers governed by the New York Department of Finances, and it basically tells servicers what must happen at the end of forbearance. And so it's not like they have a choice. Um, well, the only requirement is that your forbearance must have been because of a COVID-19 related hardship, either medically or financially, if you were affected by COVID-19 in any way, and that is the reason why you were in hardship, then this law applies. If it's something else, then it doesn't apply. And the requirements are very similar to the CARES Act and the federal that the federal government passed. So yeah. So this is what the law basically does. Section 9X3 allows the borrower to select one of the repayment plans from the end of their forbearance. And here are the specific details of what happens in the end of forbearance. Number one, they can extend the term by the number of months that you miss. So if you were in forbearance for 6 months, they can extend the term by 6 months. Number two, you can try to apply for a repayment plan. So perhaps, you can propose like a 1-year repayment plan and so on. So your payments will be higher during that time. So you'll be paying your regular mortgage payments plus whatever is due. You can apply for a loan modification, negotiate a loan modification. Keep in mind that when you apply for a loan modification, it does not guarantee that your payments are going to go down. A lot of this depends on who your servicer is, and if the term, your loan term cannot be extended, or if the interest rate is not dropped, most of the time, if you apply for a loan modification, your payments will not actually go down. And the last one, if the borrower and the lender cannot reasonably agree on a loan modification, then the lender, whatever the institution is, must offer to defer the amount of the forbearance into a non-interest balloon payment. So as I said, if your mortgage payments are $2,000 a month and you miss 6 months, that will make it $12,000. So this amount they will put on the end of the loan, and it would not be due until the loan matures. So this is basically the overview of what's been happening in terms of forbearance and lending, what your options are, what you can do, but obviously time is short and not everything is always clear. So please reach out either to Cypress Hills or us, and we can provide more clarity. The next topic of my presentation will be about court and foreclosure proceedings, what's been going on in courts right now. And I'm going to start by talking about what was going on in courts first, in foreclosure cases when the pandemic started. So when the pandemic started, courts instituted a variety of foreclosure moratoriums. Courts themselves were closed and nothing happened there for a very long time. When the pandemic started, all the current foreclosure cases were put on pause. There were no new cases. There were no settlement conferences. There were no foreclosure auctions or anything like that. Eventually, some courts held what was called COVID conferences to assess different hardships, but nothing really came out of this. Then in December 2020, Governor Cuomo signed a new law into effect, establishing foreclosure moratoriums. So in all foreclosure and pre-foreclosure cases, as long as the homeowner experienced a COVID-19 related hardship, he or she could file a hardship declaration, and an existing case could not continue. And additionally, a new foreclosure case cannot be started without the lender first mailing this hardship declaration to the homeowner. So if you're behind on payments and the lender wants to start a foreclosure action against you, first they have to mail you that hardship declaration before doing anything. And if you have been impacted by COVID-19 in any way, you can sign this hardship declaration and return to your lender, and then they are not able to start any foreclosure action against you. So if you fill it out and return, a new foreclosure case cannot be started. initially, when this law was instituted in December of 2020, it was expected that moratorium was supposed to expire in the end of May. Then it was extended one more time until the end of August, beginning of September. And at that time, again, the expectation was that it's not going to be renewed. However, the new governor extended the moratorium one more time. Currently, the New York foreclosure moratorium is until January 15th, 2022. It is expected that this was the last time it was renewed. It is not expected that it's going to be renewed one more time. So cases are allowed to continue now, and cases are allowed to start only where the hardship declaration is not filed. So if you have a current foreclosure case, you can still file a hardship declaration, and nothing is going to happen in your case until after that date. So it'll postpone any of your hearings and so on. And if you have been behind on payments, and as I said, the lender intends to start a file of foreclosure action against you, if you sign this hardship declaration, there's going to be no new filings until at least January 15, 2022. And I'm going to talk a little bit about specific court dates in both Queens and Brooklyn and what's been going on there in terms of foreclosure proceedings. So Queens resumed its settlement conferences in April of this year for cases where hardship declaration has not been filed. Settlement conferences is what happens in court when foreclosure action case begins. So cases don't generally go to the judge right away. They go into what is known as a settlement conference, where basically a homeowner and the bank sit down together and they try to settle their case, most often by a loan modification. So Queens resumed its cases in April. However, even if hardship declaration has been filed, you're still free to apply for loan modification. You can do all those things, and you're still free to try to settle your case. If the case is no longer in settlement conferences, then the court needs to have what is known as a COVID-19 conference before proceeding with any case. So if the foreclosure case was with a judge, they can still the lender still cannot proceed with the case until the judge assesses if there's been any COVID impact on the homeowner or not. So usually a conference is scheduled to assess that impact. So that's Queens. In Brooklyn has been a lot slower. There's basically since the pandemic started, it's been almost 2 years, I guess. The court has been pretty much closed, and nothing has been going on at all in Brooklyn. Very recently, settlement conferences just resumed, but they're rare, maybe once every 3 months, and they're only for cases, like very old cases. None of the new cases are being heard. So it's expected that, after the moratorium is lifted, there's probably going to be a wave of new foreclosure cases filed after January 15th. And the courts are going to be even more backed up. In terms of cases that are no longer in settlement conferences, basically nothing has been going on, and it's unclear when it's going to resume. And last thing I want to talk about are tax liens. So when you don't pay your property taxes, for example, if you paid off your house already and you don't have a mortgage, you still have to pay off your property taxes, of course. And if you don't pay, eventually the city of New York can put a lien on your property, and they can sell that lien to a private trust, and the private trust can start a foreclosure action against you. So the tax lien sale, when the pandemic started, was canceled in 2020. So it never happened in 2020. And then it never happened. Generally, it happens, at the end of spring, sometime in the summer. It never happened, in spring or summer of 2021 either. However, recently we heard that there's a tax lien sale, and it'll be scheduled in the end of this year. And the city makes a lot of money from that. sale. So originally the sale was scheduled for December 14th. Today I just learned that it has been postponed to December 17th, but the sale still hasn't been canceled. There are a lot of organizations that are trying to cancel it. There's a coalition, different housing counselors, different legal service providers, and even a lot of New York State politicians who are trying to pressure the city to cancel it. AG's office, for example, will send a letter to Mayor de Blasio asking to cancel it because it'll impact homeowners a lot, especially who have been behind. So if you have been behind with property taxes for a long time and you're not sure if you can be on a lien sale or not, please reach out to someone, any housing counselor. They can look up your property and see if you can be on a lien or not. I mean, the city is supposed to send everyone a notice before that, but sometimes homeowners don't get it. Sometimes things get lost in the mail. So you never know. So if you are on a tax lien sale, you can get yourself off it. So there are ways to resolve it and make sure that the lien is not sold to a trust. Number one is because if it is sold to a private entity, they will charge you an exuberant interest rate and you will owe a lot more money. So it's better to get yourself off before. So if you've been impacted by COVID-19 in any way and you're on a lien sale, you can simply sign a hardship declaration, very similar to what you can do in a foreclosure case, and send it, and you'll be taken off. If you are able to, you can enter into a repayment plan with the city where the terms are much better than if you wait until the lien is sold. You can even enter into like zero down payment repayment plans. They can last for sometimes. There are other ways where you can get yourself off the lien sale. For example, if you're a senior, if you're disabled, you can get a senior property tax exemption and get yourself off the lien sale. Again, for more information, please reach out to housing counselors like Cypress Sales or to any legal service providers. So this is basically the end. This is just our contact information, Brooklyn Legal Services Corporation A, our number and email if you need any additional information, or if you want to reach out with any questions and issues. I'm glad that all of you attended this presentation today. Hopefully you were able to learn something, and I think now we'll go into questions. So if anyone has any questions or would like to know more about anything, so I'll be more than happy to answer, as well as Rosalinda.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, just talking more about the tax lien sale. If you guys have any, questions about that, you could always call Alex or myself, Rosalinda. We'll put our numbers in the chat. So give us a call. We have, counselors that are here to help you. Alex also mentioned if you were, your forbearance program has ended, in order to also help you from going into any foreclosure proceedings, you can fill out the hardship declaration form. It's on, you can find it on a website, or we can also help you. That will be sent to your mortgage servicer if there's like no prior court cases, right? That's why it will be sent to your mortgage servicer. If you need help with that, it's just a simple, form, but I know these little things could be a little challenging or overwhelming. We are here to help you. So right now you guys can, like if you guys want to unmute to ask a question to Alex or myself, or if you want to put your questions in the chat, whichever works best. We're open here for any questions, if anyone has any. I just want to let everyone know this Homeowner Assistance Fund is a great program that's coming out there. I did not mention this, but it is going to be type of a grant where I believe it's they would have some requirements for it to become a grant for 5 years. Once the program opens, we'll get more details. And I'm sorry, someone wanted to ask a question?
Yes, this is Renee. Good evening, everybody. Rosalinda, Alex. I just
Hey,
want to
Renee.
ask a quick question. Hey, I want to ask Alex. This is, of course, for the benefit of the homeowners on the call. If Alex, are you the main mortgage default attorney in the unit there at Brooklyn Legal Services Corporation A, or are there more attorneys taking on those types of cases?
Well, there are more attorneys, but I'm the main one. Yeah.
So, but I mean, mortgage default, foreclosures?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. I was just wondering. Thank you.
Thanks, Renee. We also have are you done, Alex, or? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So there's a question in the chat. Actually, Jose is asking that modification may not lower the payments. So it's kind of I guess myth that stems from 2008 foreclosure crisis, that most of the time modifications lower the payment, and it did happen. There was a program under Obama administration that made a lot of modifications lower your monthly payments. However, that program expired, I believe, in 2016 or so, and since then most modifications do not lower the monthly payment. The reason is because every month that you don't pay your mortgage, interest accumulates on the amount that you owe. However, if the term is not extended, this interest just accumulates, and when you apply for a modification, your principal balance will be bigger. And if the term is not extended, and if the interest rate is not lowered, then there's no way for your monthly payments to go down. The only way for your monthly payments to go down is either if the interest rate goes down, or if the term is extended, or obviously if they forgive some of the interest. But you can never force the lender to forgive the interest unless they did something wrong. So another reason for the monthly payment to go down if they give you a balloon payment. So a balloon payment is like the amount that they will put on the end of the loan, which would not be due until the loan matures. So they can take a chunk of the principal balance that you owe, and they can put it interest free on the end of the loan. And that would lower your monthly payments, but the negative is you'll have a big amount due whenever this loan matures, like 2035 or 2040 or something like that. Let me know if okay. If you want to discuss further, obviously feel free to call or email us.
Thanks, Jose, for that question. Yeah. So like Alex was mentioning, it all has to do with the type of loan you have, who's the investor, what's the mortgage balance, what are the mortgage arrears, what's the current interest rate, that also, and also what's your current financial status when applying. So all of that is put into some formula that the banks kind of figure out, and that's where they come up with this new mortgage that it's modified. And if you do modify and you're not happy with the agreement, given, you do not have to accept it. But then understand that your loan will still be in default, and you would have to find other ways to bring it current. Any other questions?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it's in relation to the basically any idea with the U.S. Treasury when that will come down? I know they've been discussing this has been in the works since like February, April, right?
Well, yeah. And my expectation first was that it was going to open up in the end of August. At this point, I don't have an answer. I don't know. I thought it was going to be done in October maybe, but last I heard, nothing might be done by January or something like that, which is not good.
Wow.
So it's very possible that it's not going to be open until next year.
Wow. Yeah, because I had, I've been in discussions with Renee,
Mhm.
And, he's been advising me, what to do with HSBC, that's my mortgager, my bank, and, to try to get some kind of, modification. They sent me this loss mitigation packet.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you have to
Oh.
fill out all your, my problem is I'm unemployed. So I got a big void. And
Oh,
that-
can they extend your forbearance in any way or no?
Well, I've just started this process in the last 2-3 weeks. But they're kind of pressuring me a little bit, silent pressure. They're telling me, oh, you got to get these papers in. So I uploaded them today. And anything that comes up, I will confer with
Well,
Renee or somebody.
Yeah, make sure to talk to Renee to make sure, because there are a lot of documents like they need to be uploaded and they have to be done properly and correctly. And Renee knows all about it, so he
Yeah.
can at least guide you on how to do it properly.
Yeah, he gave me some great advice and I'm following that. And I'm just waiting now I'm gonna have to wait for them to return, what comes back. I didn't think it was gonna take this long to be honest. I'm sure everybody's. And
Yeah,
I saw the program, the HAF program, I was piqued my interest, because, I figured it's a good help. It's a good fix for a lot of people.
yeah. Sorry, what was your first name?
Mine's Charles Cancelleri.
Okay. You can actually call HSBC and just ask verbally for an
Mhm.
extension on your forbearance program. You do not need to submit any paperwork.
I'll do that.
Yeah, you could try that, and then they'll tell you if it can be extended. And
Yeah.
if yes, that application should be put on hold until that new extension date is over. I would advise that because then, hopefully by then you'll able to have a job, your income will be increased, and that'll only look better for your modification application because having no income really doesn't help you at all.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry. I know some people have 2-family houses and they have rental income, they have contribution from relatives, but the mortgage servicers really, really want to see income from the actual borrower or
Mhm.
borrowers.
Yeah, I put down my wife's income. That's what he suggested that.
I mean, that works.
Yeah.
It's better than.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She's in the house, so, but other than that, I'm self-employed. So I'm not working because of the COVID. It's COVID related.
Mhm.
It's not like I work for a company,
So then we should fill out the hardship declaration form as well. So you should call the HSBC, see if they could give you an extension on the forbearance.
Okay,
And you could call our office to help you with that hardship declaration form that would protect homeowners
all right.
until January 15th of next year. If
Yeah.
if it's extended, that'll be longer.
Right. And then if that other program comes along, then, I can apply for that as well.
Correct. Yeah.
I guess it's all a matter of timing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so then that's great advice. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
I will call I'm gonna call Renee tomorrow for that form,
Okay.
and I'm gonna call HSBC too to get that if they can.
Yeah. Yes.
The-
Ask them.
Yeah, because I think it was forbeared since last year, since March. So basically, it's
There,
like 20 months I haven't paid my mortgage.
so some banks are
15 months. something like that.
very, very, very few banks are doing their own forbearance programs, not going by the CARES Act. So they
Uh-huh.
could extend it a
Okay.
little bit more. So you could find out,
Yeah, it
don't-
can't hurt to call, right?
Correct. Yeah. And they'll let you know. They'll
Right.
say, no, you've exceeded the amount of months that your mortgage can be in the program.
Yeah.
Or they could say, all right, we could do 2 months. And you can need to explain to them you're still unemployed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Perfect. Thanks a million.
Not a problem.
Great info. Excellent. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks. All right. So Jose, I mentioned that we didn't, if we don't accept the modification, there may be other options. Would be back in square one. Would there be any options taken off the table after the application? Okay. So if you're offered a modification, as Alex mentioned, it can it can increase your mortgage payment because of different items on your mortgage. And depending on your current income, you're unable to make those payments. Why would you sign off on this new modification? This is where we can bring to the Homeowner Assistance Fund and demonstrate that, yes, you were given an offer, but it's really unaffordable. Why would you sign on this offer that you can't make these payments because of your current income? Again, this is why we would apply for HOF, just for them to pay off the mortgage arrears. You will keep your current mortgage. Once HOF pays your mortgage arrears, everything in your mortgage will stay the same. Your mortgage balance, your mortgage interest rate, and your mortgage payment. And no, there would not be any penalties for not accepting that modification.
Yeah, there are no penalties for starting the process, and it shouldn't hurt your credit score or anything like that. Also, if you are offered a modification and you don't like the terms, you're free to make a counter offer. Doesn't mean that the lender is going to accept it or will go with what you're suggesting, but it doesn't hurt to try. So, for example, if in their modification they propose a 4% interest rate, you can make a counter offer and ask if they can do a 3% interest rate. If you want your payments to be lowered, you can ask them, can you put a certain amount on the end as a balloon payment in order for your payment to be lower than it is. More often that happens when you're in court, not before. If you're not in court, the banks are not very inclined to do those things. But if you have good defenses against them and they do start a foreclosure action, and they don't want to waste so much money trying to actually foreclose on the house, they're often more inclined to review your counter offer where you would propose whatever terms you want to propose.
You're welcome, Jose. Any other questions from all the other homeowners here on our webinar tonight? Please remember that I know most homeowners are still struggling with being unemployed or trying to go back to work, but not at the same capacity as pre-COVID. But we need to make our mortgages like priority. So I know sometimes people kind of don't like answering calls from their mortgage servicers, or they get anxious when they get letters in the mail from the mortgage servicers. But if that we need to be aware that we need to attend to these calls and these letters and not wait to the end, because sometimes there's an offer there, and if we wait too long, it's going to expire. So again, if you don't feel comfortable talking to your mortgage servicer, give us a call Cypress Hills, call Brooklyn Legal Services Corp A, and we can advocate for you. We could talk to the mortgage servicer and provide them with the information that you've given us, and see what they have to say.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Elise. Do you guys help with the ERAP program? I'm in arrears for like 3 months. I'm on that forbearance for 3 months now, and it's because I have a tenant who didn't pay since December. So I was able to maintain until 3 months ago. But the ERAP program is taking forever to give us that money. And if I could get that money, I could pay the arrears and not need you guys. Do you guys help with the ERAP program at all?
Did the tenant apply for ERAP?
Say that again?
Did your tenant apply for ERAP?
Yes, we have an application. We've been waiting like a month now for a response. They're saying they're verifying, but they haven't, gotten back to me. They said on my end, as the landlord, I've supplied all the documentation necessary.
So we've seen seen tenants and a few homeowners that about 2 months or so is when they get actually like a response. So if it's still pending, that's kind of good news, because they're not looking for any additional documentation. There is a number. Do you have the ERAP hotline number?
I do. Is there a chance of being declined for this ERAP assistance?
Not if you submitted everything, you shouldn't be denied.
Okay. Okay, and then is there, so I did a modification on my property 5 years ago when I had to like, assist because my mom got sick. So,
Mhm.
we already have a balloon payment on the end. Let's just say this ERAP program doesn't work out for us. Can they modify the balloon payment? Is that a possibility?
So short answer is yes, but a
Okay.
lot of it depends on what kind of mortgage you have. So
Right.
one thing you'd look into, is it federally backed mortgage or is it a private mortgage? So if it's a private mortgage, it's usually investor guidelines. But
it is.
even if investor guidelines say, oh no, we can put a bigger balloon, you can always ask for an exception, and they do exceptions like that. So even if their own internal guidelines don't permit, I think because of how many foreclosures are going to happen, a lot of them, as long as the payments are affordable to homeowners, they will start all meeting that. So in short, yeah, you should still be you should still be able to get a modification.
To negotiate something. Okay, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
as long
And
as
can I call you guys tomorrow? Should I even fill out that hardship form as well? Is it a bonus? Is it necessary?
I mean, it's a bonus, but I mean, my feeling is, they're just not going to start any cases regardless until
Okay.
after January 15th. And even if they are planning on starting the case, they have to mail you that hardship themselves as well. So they
Oh,
can't
good.
start
Okay.
anything unless they've mailed you the hardship declaration and you've had a couple of weeks to return it. But
And the same.
some people want to feel comfortable, so they just want to do it regardless, just in case. So I'm not going to
I
oppose
see.
to that or say no.
And the same goes for Queens County as for Brooklyn, right? Not till January.
Yeah, this is for everything in New York.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you.
Miss Elise, I do want to ask you, is your forbearance program over?
No, I'm only 3 months into it, and they just extended it for another 3 months till March for me.
Okay, so you're okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry. So I know
Okay.
that it's stressful just trying to get an
Mhm.
approval or denial for
Yeah.
ERAP, but
Yes.
you're actually in good standing with the mortgage company.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah,
I can
so-
sleep better tonight.
Yes,
I'll
you
sleep a lot
can.
better tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not a problem.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Mhm. Any other questions?
Yes, good afternoon. This is Martha. I have a question.
Hi, Martha.
How are you? What happened if the tenants don't want to apply? Because I have a tenant that is not paying rent for 3 months and he doesn't want to apply because he said he has his own company and he doesn't want to apply because of that.
So there's a new program. It's called LARP, LRAP, for the landlord, for situations that, one, the tenant doesn't want to apply, and two, if the tenant has left the unit owing rent. So if you could give me a call Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Okay.
Or you could call, yeah, I would say Friday, I'll be there. And we could talk about it. We could do an intake, but this new program just opened up because there have been situations where tenants are refusing to apply for this assistance and homeowners are actually still struggling to make those mortgage payments. So
Okay.
my the office number 718 647
Uh-huh.
8100.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I'll look forward to hearing from you on Friday.
I will. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions that we have before we wrap up for tonight?
Nope.
No? Okay, so want to thank Alex Knippenberg from Brooklyn Legal Services Corp. A for collaborating with Cypress Hills and in providing this useful information to all our homeowners.
I didn't want to interrupt. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
This is Ray, how do we, and it's a very good webinar you guys had, how do we stay on top of all the changes that are going on? Like with you guys, do we sign on to your website? Do we sign on to the state's website? What do we do?
When you're talking about changes, you're talking about like the New York State more updates on the programs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can. We have Cypress Hills has a newsletter, and they have updated information about our various programs, about COVID-19 vaccines, COVID-19 shots, the HAF program, about our webinars and other webinars that our organization has. But if you would like additional information as a homeowner, you could definitely call our office, and whatever information we have, we will share it with you, and hopefully it's beneficial for you.
I have one other question for you. After Ida, my insurance company is telling us, I mean, our basement had more than 2 feet of water. I had to replace the water heater, the washing machines are gone, all of that is gone. Are they still giving monies for damages from Ida?
So you already called your insurance company, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you should give us a call. We can help. We have the help desk counselor there tomorrow. If not, Renee and I will be there Friday. There is some assistance. Some of it is through FEMA, so we can help you. But give us a call either tomorrow or Friday so we can guide you. And there's other resources too that the city is offering, not just FEMA, but other resources.
Yeah, someone was telling me that the city has a $35,000 grant or something like that.
I'm not sure about the actual amount, but we can look into it.
Okay, thank you for a very informative.
And you have our office number, correct?
Yes, I actually got it in the mail. And I was trying to call your office and the phone just rings and rings and rings and rings and rings. And
yeah.
A machine doesn't even pick up.
That's interesting. Thank you for letting us know. We're kind of popular during these days because of the ERAP program, because of the Homeowner Assistance Fund, and just in general, our we have a high call volume. We're short staffed. We're only 4 people in the office. So, but
Wow.
I'm gonna also in the chat put my email if that's better for people to, send me email, tell me where to call you and what services are you looking for, okay? I'll put it in the chat. I would also put Renee's email in the chat for you guys if you can't reach me.
Now, let me ask you one more question. You said this whole thing is being recorded, right?
Yes.
So how do I view it again? Because
Okay.
I couldn't follow Alex on the tax liens.
Not a problem. So we're gonna post it on our Cypress Hills Facebook and YouTube pages. Tonight we would send that over to our community development team, and they would, hopefully by next week it'll be up on our social media.
That means that I don't do.
You don't do social media? Okay. Send me an email, and once I have the link, I will forward that to you.
Okay, but I can look at it on YouTube, right?
Yes, it will be on our YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
You do?
Yeah. So yeah, you could send me an email and I could forward the link once it's available.
Okay.
And we will be having a tax lien workshop upcoming soon. I don't want to give the wrong date. I'm sorry. But I will share that out. We would all email you guys again, inviting you to that workshop.
Thank you.
We're
Not a
still
problem.
hopeful that the city is going to cancel it. But-
Yes. But we want to provide the information just in case, they don't. We want to let you guys know that we are here to assist you in any way possible. Is there any other? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, Alex was saying that most likely was not going to be extended again, but I thought our new governor was pro homeowner. Not that I want to rely on that, but
it's not up to her though. I think it's up to the city council, Bill de Blasio, and so on. The tax lien sale I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
The tax liens.
Right, and the moratorium.
Oh, I mean, at a certain point, I don't know how long they're gonna keep extending it. I think extending it from September to January 15th was already very unexpected. I'm sure there's a ton of lobbies being paid by banks that are pressuring the politicians right now not to extend it further. I mean, I'll be happy as long as they put homeowner protections in place, where a lot of things have to be done by lenders before they can start any foreclosure actions. Where they do their best to try to reach some kind of a deal with homeowners. If that happens, at least that would be good.
Okay,
But I don't think it's gonna get extended now.
okay, thank you, guys.
Thank
Yes,
you.
not a problem. So I just want to let you guys know that next week, November 3rd, it's a Wednesday, we will be having more information about the New York City tax lien sale. We are trying to do it ahead of time, even though it was the tax lien was postponed till December 17th, Alex? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that people get all the information before that deadline. And if we need to, submit any application, apply for any type of options, we want to make sure we have enough time before that happens. And hopefully, like Alex said, it will be suspended or postponed again. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, Alex, thank you for collaborating with
everyone.
Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation. And we will be sharing this great information session on our social media.